Just grabbed a quick word here with Fraser Rogers. Fraser, good to have you back in the Thundersport paddock. You've grown a bit, the voice has changed. How are you getting on in Spain?
Yeah, Spain's been getting better recently. Had a struggle the first few part of the season, and we had a bit of a summer break, and we've come back the second half a lot stronger than we were. Last round I was second up until about 7 minutes to go when I crashed, and then I dropped to about 8th, and then in the race I was finished 7th, so it's definitely going in the right direction, and looking forward to the rest of the season.
Obviously here at Brands Hatch supporting your teammate Wayne Ryan and watching a bit of the Super Teens as well, maybe?
Yeah, Super Teens are still crazy, aren't they? And Wayne fighting for the win then on a 125 against 400s and stuff, so yeah, it's been a good day actually. It's good to see some people I haven't seen for a while and stuff like that. So.
Well, it's good to have you here, mate, and best of luck for the future next year, of course, and we'll keep our eyes out for you.
Thank you.
Well, the Bridgestone Thundersport 500's up next, waiting for us there, coming to the grid. There we see 32 Nick Clift on the outside of that front row. Great to see Fraser Rogers here at Brands, enjoying yourself back in the paddock, Steve.
Yes, grown up quite a lot, hasn't he, Fraser? And he was referring there, Wayne's race. Wayne Ryan entered an Alto Digital Thundersport GP2 race on his Aprilia. You can see that on the other Thundersport Plus show here on Motors TV. That'll be coming up in a week or two. But at the front here, can Adam Shelton make it 12 on the trot?
I suppose what one has to say immediately to that is why not? He's in such amazing form at the moment, and he gets that 61 yellow 500 off the line really well again. And the mark of his start, once again, is the company he's keeping. Championship leader Andy Lawson is back there in 3rd place, and Steve Tomes back with the series, multiple championship winner, is there in 2nd.
Yeah, Steve Tomes has got quite a few points in the championship as well. It's not as if he's got nothing to play for. He's 5th at the moment overall, so he could do with a big bundle of points, but he likes to concentrate on trophies and lap records.
Well, he'll be enjoying himself. As I say, he is one of the riders that the youngsters have to measure their performance against, because Steve is such a capable rider. And of course was one of the inaugural Thundersport GB champions.
Yes, he's been out on all sorts of machines really, 400s, 450s with Thundersport, and here he is on a 500. I've got to say as well that the pace that these two guys have been setting at the front all weekend, with the exception of the last race where it was just Adam, has been exceptional. They have been a good 1.5 seconds quicker than the current lap record, so that's been wiped. That's Nick Mallinson, number 50, leading a long pack of about 20 500s.
Yes, they'll all be taking turns of that, don't worry about that. But up front there's Andy Lawson, there's Adam Poltman, number 64, just behind Nick Mallinson, sort of sitting on his shoulder, having a look there, and Lewis Osler not that far back either. Again, Lewis is one of those riders we've come to expect to be near the front these days, haven't we?
Yes, he's been getting on with his business rather well. In fact, there's a number of riders in the top 12 overall that are well capable of finishing on the podium, and with a couple of rounds left, they've not got long to do it. But at the front here, it's nice to see somebody actually nipping at the heels of Adam Shelton. We've not seen this for a good 9 or 10 races. Shelton has been clearing off into the distance, but Tomesy is giving as good as he gets.
Well, yes, Steve Tomes has parted company with the machinery a couple of times this weekend, and he'll be determined to iron that one out. It's not a regular part of his business at all. There we see Andy Lawson in 3rd place, still with that championship lead, and still, I think, realising that as long as he can stay somewhere ballpark, he needs to be close to Adam Shelton and pick up those points, and that will make it impossible for Adam to overhaul him in the championship. It still is theoretically possible for Adam to win it though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You know, that double points round at Alton is so crucial to any rider's championship. If you've not won your championship by Alton, then there'll be some fingernails chewed, I'm sure, because it's, you know, you crash in that race and give 50 points away and you'll know about it.
Yeah, could be the most expensive DNF they've ever had. And there's the wonderful little battle behind the 3 leaders. Adam Hoffman riding shotgun on that little bunch.
There's Dynamite Bailey, 72, just leading Steve Kane. But back at the front, Shelton goes into Surtees ahead of Tomes. There's Andy Lawson, the Scotsman, championship leader. He'll be happy with 3rd. Then there's Lewis Osler and Matt Bilton fighting for 4th and 5th.
Yes, Matt Bilton.
Oh, making Lewis sit up there.
He wasn't expecting that, was he? And Underneath goes Matt Bilton. Good ride, of course, earlier on, and picking up a podium. And on that sort of form again, by the looks of it.
It's a classic example there of the elbows out on these bikes because they can all nudge into each other. This is, of course, where Leon Haslam learned his racecraft. So you can learn a thing or two, and Osler got pushed out there. He'll try and get him back again. There is Bilton, and Osler on the outside, and Osler might get pushed out again. He does. He runs wide and loses 2 places.
That's the trouble in this such close company. One error gets compounded very, very quickly indeed. And then we saw, very briefly, 83 Colin McCabe, the Dayglow yellow outfit. Colin is right up there in the championship points, but he needs to get a press on in this race if that situation is to improve. Up the front, though, Steve Tomes really giving some serious grief to the rear end of Adam Shelton, and young Adam, he's going to know he's been in a fight at the end of this one.
He is, yes. They're matching lap times at the moment. Every time they go past, they're split by a 10th or 2 in lap times. So Shelton unable to shake off Steve Tomes. There is Adam Palfram, and how Adam gets through as many races as he does in a weekend is, well, I do not know. That's 12 races a weekend. That is a lot, considering most of these races are all 12 laps plus.
Yes, it's the old VFM, isn't it? If you pay to get the bikes there and the van there, you might as well get as many racing miles as possible. And Adam and his brother Dave certainly get some serious racing miles under the belts every time they're out to play. But up the front, well, this is resolving very much into a 2-man contest and then best of rest. At the moment, Andy Lawson still, with these two going away at the front, still where he needs to be. He's in 3rd place. And that's a good helping of championship points.
Great move from Steve Tomes up the inside into Druids. That's the first time Adam Shelton would have seen wheels going underneath him in 10 races or so.
Yeah, down into Graham Hill Bend, beautifully done, but good to see the youngster immediately back on the case. He's not phased, is he?
Interesting, if you look at Steve Tomes there, if you're wondering why on the straights, he's pulling in his left arm. After he's done all his work, he's got it up into top gear. He's trying to create as much slipstream as possible. Watch him as he goes onto the start-finish straight. There's not a lot between these two. There you go, hand off the left handlebar. He's trying to make every single 10th count there.
Yeah, he's, it is extraordinary, isn't it? And why not? If that's what works for you. Adam Shelton looked to run around the top of Paddock Hill Bend. That didn't work. He cuts across, tries to the inside, but Steve Tomes simply holds his line. I tell you what, very trusting from Steve Tomes. It would be very easy to be taken out there unwittingly, but both these guys riding very well and very close together.
Yeah, especially as Steve Tomes is going into Paddock Hill one-handed. I've not seen that before. But here comes Steve Tomes then. He leads the head of Adam Shelton. Shelton surely going to have a look up the Intercertes. Not this time.
Quite extraordinary. It's a bit like the almost like the Rossi rest your left ankle bit, isn't it? Steve Tomes doing the one. He's riding like the fugitive out there, one arm at a time. I'm
wondering if he's doing it so that at the end he can say, I beat you with one hand, but here we go across the line. They're side by side, and Tomes has to sit up a bit there.
Yeah, Adam Shelton just sticks it underneath and right in the wrong place as far as Steve Tomes is concerned. And Tomes tries to come back at the inside of Paddock Hill Bend, but he's got about 3/4 of a lap to go to do it, and it's still Adam Shelton that leads just from Steve Tomes. Tomes, he's just put in the fastest lap of the race. They've got traffic on the road, and look at all the traffic they've got on the road. They've got to thread their way through this, Steve.
Well, this is like the M25 on a Friday night, isn't it? Look at that, Shelton there going under one on the outside of another, and Tomes, he's making them all sit up as well. This is going right down to the line.
Still Adam Shelton, number 61, leads this. 54 is Steve Tomes. Couple 100 yards to go. Checker flag being made ready. Still slower riders, but Shelton and Tomes undaunted cross the line. That'll be the result. Lovely race there, and another race win in Bridgestone Thundersport 500s for Adam Shelton. My goodness me, Steve, he was given a workout there.
Yeah, you can't write off Steve Tomes. A great effort by the experienced rider.
Shelton the win then, Steve Tomes second, Andy Lawson third, Adam Portman fourth, Matt Bilton fifth, and Lewis Osler sixth. And there on the podium, Adam Shelton, flanked by Steve Tomes and Andy Lawson. In the standings, Andy Lawson still with that relatively comfortable lead from Adam Shelton, who's closing in. Colin McCabe third, Darrell Harrison fourth, Steve Tomes and Richard Blunt fifth and sixth.